All right. Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. It says I'm on. You see me on? All right. Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. Game of Scrolls family. Beans of light. How is everybody tonight? You know what's weird is I don't see anybody in the chat. Let's see. All messages. Yeah, we want to do that. There we go. Now I can see everybody. Let's see. Okay. Now let me pop this out. All right, Spirit Deer. That's my older sis to everybody else. And we have Alessandra. Hello, Alessandra. Another friend up in Canada. A. Linda with a Y. Down under. Hello. Alvary's in New York. Learn as I go. That is my dear friend Gail from Canada. Another Canadian. J-Fro. She's here where I am. And TT Cutie. It's good to see you again. Cannon, Wisconsin. Hey, hey. Jennifer Willis. Kirsty with a K, as I call her. She's from down under, from Southwest Rocks, New South Wales. Also Linda with a Y. She is from Melbourne. How's everybody tonight? Now, Ivan, everybody here knows Ivan. Ivan has had a experience that he wants to share with everybody. Well, I don't know if he wants to share, but he's going to have to. I remember in the very beginning, I was like, I can't wait for the first one of you to have your first experience. Well, tonight is the night for that to happen, and I'm so excited about that. Let's see. There we go. Now, why? Oh wait, I think I want to turn. I don't know why that's on, actually. I'm going to turn that one off. Now, I have a little audio issue I have to figure out here real fast. Oh. Bear with me 1 second, guys. J-Fro, how's my audio back there? My new set of headphones was supposed to arrive today, but it didn't. Because Amazon doesn't care. But that's okay. There we go. Now we're going to be okay. Now I'll be able to hear you guys. Ivan, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
There you are.
I'm here.
Finally, I can hear you. All right. That's good. Now, the question is, why can't I see you on my OBS? So let's.
I have my camera off. You want to turn it on?
Well, I should at least see that our picture. I call it our picture because I swear I've taken that same picture before. But now,
I lost
there
you.
we go. You lost me.
Oh, there you are. You're
Okay.
in and out with the sound. Cutting in and out.
There you are. Okay.
Yep.
I had the
Gotcha.
right one. Okay, now we should be able to see you when you turn your camera on. Good. So now what I'm going to do...
See
There
me?
you are. Yeah. All right. That's awesome. We are live from Ontario, Canada with Ivan Hurd. You heard about Ivan Hurd, right? I'm sure you've heard that one before.
Oh,
I heard,
yeah, a few times.
yeah, I heard a herd of herds before. Ivan and I, if you don't know, Ivan and I have a really, really awesome synchronicity. Actually, a pretty awesome set of synchronicities, I guess you could say. He's one of the very first people I met that came. He saw the Jeff Mara podcast, and you just watched him for the first time that day, right?
Yeah, I just found it and was watching it, and you were on it. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, we were meant to meet. It's a divine intervention on like such a major scale that I can't even put words to it right now. That how just he and I are connected. I mean, he and I. If you see his picture right now on the screen, this little guy right here. His profile picture. That's his profile picture on Facebook. This picture right here, I took the same exact picture in Florida. He took this in Ontario, Canada. I took a picture just like that on December 19th, 2014. And when I saw this picture for the first time, when he first sent me a friend request on Facebook, I thought it was me sending me a friend request because I have the same picture just about in my collection. That used to be his picture. Used to be my picture on my profile pic for years, until recently when Facebook asked me if I wanted to try this new avatar thing out. But I thought it was me sending a friend request to myself. And then that's why I really recognized him at first. And I was like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Man, you have no idea." He goes, "I talk like you. I even giggle like you." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" So we have a really, really strong connection, and still uncovering things day by day. And now, he has another connection I know all of you probably know about, and that's with Donna. Our very own Donna Harding, Donna's room. So he and her apparently are twins in some way. I haven't heard that story, by the way, yet. So I want to hear that story one day. Maybe you could tell everybody
Yeah, well,
before you even get started with your astral experience, what that's all about and how that came about.
Well, when we started chatting, we were talking, like everyone's talking, and then we always kept putting the same comments. Like, I would write something, like at the same time we would we'd be saying the same thing as each other. So I was just like, how's this possible? Like every time I answered something, we're talking and we kept writing the same things, exactly the same.
Yeah, welcome to my world. This is
like
me.
Over and over and over and over and over again. So that's how it all started. It's like, we must be twins because we keep writing the exact same answers.
Right.
I'm telling on the chat.
Now, just imagine multiplying that by like almost 300 or 400 a day, and that's me.
Yeah.
I have the same problem that you do with everybody. So I guess I'm everybody's twin, but that's the case. It's just amazing. We all came here together, it's just I'm still blown away. It's like every day, and you guys don't even know the half of it yet. But in time, you will, because I don't even know how to start. I don't even know where to start. Like this goes like so deep, and we even had some new people come in the last few days that I have such a strong connection to. It's just amazing. In time, we'll get to all this stuff. I'm still trying to work it all out and myself, but I thought about something. I thought, every at the start of each stream, I light my candles, so I would like to start naming somebody who I think really needs our help the most in our family, from my vantage point. And tonight, I would like to do that. So I'm going to light a candle right now for our sister Victoria Katie. She has gone through so much. Not that we all haven't, but she really needs our love and help right now. She is really struggling and trying to get through all of her grief. And I've asked Kirsty with a K, since Kirsty with a K has gone through a whole lot in her life too, and she's had kind of similar experiences to Victoria. I've asked her to if she would kind of take her under her wing and help guide her through some of this terrible things that she's trying to work out in her mind. So I'm lighting a candle for Victoria tonight. And so I woke up today and J-Fro was like, Mark, I got to catch you up on a few things. I was like, oh no, what happened? I was hoping it was good. She goes, oh no, it's good. She said, Ivan had an experience. I'm like, really? Yeah, he's telling everybody. He told Samba and he told a few other people. Spirit Deer, I think, was one. So I was like, still half asleep. And so here we are. I want to hear about this experience. So Ivan, start telling us what happened. Take us step by step and tell us how all this happened and what you experienced. I kind of know a little bit about what you told me about, and I've had a similar experience to you. And I definitely would put that in the category of astral projection for sure, because even though you went about it in a very neat way, unorthodox way.
Yeah, it was unexpected, actually.
And you didn't even know that I had actually gave a bonus tip on how to do this on my first stream I had.
It would all happen through a lucid dream.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to go.
Take everybody through what happened, how you did it, and so other people might be able to do it.
Well, I was in a dream, and the funniest thing is I don't remember what I was.
Do you want to be on camera or not?
Not really, because I got my cell and it bounces all around it.
Okay, no problem. I like looking at your picture. It makes me feel right at home anyway, because I think,
Okay, good. That's perfect. I was I lucid dream quite often, but I never knew that you could go from a lucid dream into astral projection until recently. It was only a couple of days before, like you had mentioned before, you were talking about it.
Yeah.
And then I was talking the day before with Spirit. She was telling me, she just happened to mention, if you're in a lucid dream, if you fall backwards, like if you realize yourself and you fall backwards, it will throw you into astral projection, which I never knew. I was like, wow, are you serious? Really? I lucid dream quite often. I never knew that. I probably could have done it lots of times if I would have known. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was very interesting. I was in a dream, and I don't remember what I was initially dreaming about, but I do remember I stopped in my dream and I started looking at my hands, like you were telling, like you know, if you're in a dream, look at your hands and ask yourself, am I sleeping? Am I awake? Right? Close, open your hands. And I was like, wow, I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming. I can go into astral projection. I remember they told me just fall backwards.
Right.
So I fell backwards.
That's exactly what my tip was. But you said Spirit Deer told you that too.
Yeah,
So.
Spirit Deer was kind of reminding me about it, and I was like, oh, okay. That's really interesting. So yeah, I don't remember what I was dreaming about, but I remember just standing there looking at my hands, bending my fingers and looking at my palms, looking at the back of my hands, my palms, and like, I'm dreaming. I could go in astral projection. All I have to do is fall backwards. I was very, very conscious of that. Like I knew what was happening. So I fell back, but before I, you don't fall back and literally hit the floor or something. It was like I fell back, and it was just like, it was almost like a very interesting sensation. It was like something caught me gracefully, like smoothly, and then just launched me forward. I just felt myself being launched, and then poof, I was out of that dream, and I just seen darkness. Like I didn't see anything, and I was just picking up speed. I knew I was just soaring. Like I just felt like I was going like the speed of light all of a sudden. Like I was just really, really moving. And then all of a sudden, poof, I just see gray, like a lit up, glowing kind of gray. Mm-hmm. And I stopped, and I was just floating there in this like gray nothingness. Like it was really peaceful and calm. Like you don't really think too, like you're very conscious, really, and very aware, but you're not in any fear, or you're not really thinking about that at all. Like here I am in this nothingness, and I couldn't care less. I was just like, oh wow, this is really wild. Like
wow.
You're just floating, and it's like, yeah, what a sensation just to be floating there.
Okay, now let me step back just a bit. Okay, so when you were in the lucid dream, how did you notice you were dreaming?
I just, all of a sudden, I just stopped and started looking at my hands. I just stopped and started looking at my hands, and I was like, this isn't real. I'm dreaming. Like I realized, like when I started in the dream, I didn't know that I was dreaming. But all of a sudden, I've kind of like found myself there, kind of like I've had many lucid dreams in the past. I have them quite often, probably 2-3 times a week. For ever since I started having experiences 2 years ago, the lucid dreaming, and so yeah, I always seem to start in a dream. I don't know I'm dreaming. You think it's real, and then all of a sudden, I don't know why, I just know. It just hits me like I'm dreaming. I'm not awake. I don't know how else I can explain that. You just all of a sudden realize you're dreaming.
Okay, so
I was like,
so when you're dreaming, when you realize that, then you can do anything in your lucid dream too.
Yeah, exactly. I just start doing what I want. It's like, hey, wait a second, I'm dreaming. I can do whatever I want,
Right.
And I'll just go around, like wherever I am, just start opening up doors. What's in here? What's in there? Or whoever. Just start doing whatever I want, thinking, it's not real. I can do what I want. So it's really interesting.
Okay, so when you realize this, now so you don't remember how you realized, but you're used to.
I just do, yeah.
You just do.
I just seem to all of a sudden just seem to stop and then kind of look around and go, this isn't real.
Yeah.
Like I just seem to realize it. I don't know how or why.
I've been getting very, very close to doing that automatically too, without even looking at my hands or whatever technique I was teaching you guys. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Normally I don't, but this time I did. I remember looking at my hands like you taught me,
Yeah.
and I've been doing it a lot. Like anytime I think about it
Awesome.
throughout the day, I look at my hands, look at my palms, look at the
Yeah.
back of my hands, look at my palms. I bend my fingers. Am I awake? Am I dreaming? Am I
Yeah.
awake? Am I
I
dreaming?
know.
Look at the back palms. Look at my hands.
Now,
I
what
just keep doing that.
for those people that have never gotten that far in their lucid dreams, how do your hands look to you in the dream state versus in this dream? We're in a dream right now, for all practical purposes, but.
Yeah, that's hard to explain. I don't really know. I just seem to. It just gives me the realization
Oh
somehow.
man, yeah, I had a wild dream last night too. Maybe we'll talk about it later. It was kind of an ancient dream. It was an ancient life, but right now we want to focus on your experience. Um, so okay, so you're in
Yeah.
a. Do you remember what you were doing in your dream when all this happened?
No, that's what I'm saying. I just remember I was somewhere in a room and there was people and we were interacting. I can't remember exactly before that. I remember, very, very vividly everything that happened from there. But what I was initially dreaming, I'm not 100% sure. I just know that I was in a room and there was people and we were talking and I was walking around or something. I just stopped and was just had the realization. I started looking around and I started looking at my hands. I was like, wait a second. I'm dreaming. I can go into astral projection. I just had that realization.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
You know, I
shortcut because at that point
yeah.
you don't need to do all the other things like when you're conscious, like say something over and over again, and and we're gonna go over those after you say your tell us about your
Well,
experience. But
if you
yeah,
can get into a lucid dream, it is very, very easy from there. All you have to do is fall backwards and it's
right,
just instant. It's just instant. Like you just poof, you just take off. Like I could just feel myself eject out and just soar. Like I was just, but it was funny because when I fell back and whew, I just took off and I was like, oh no, I never thought of a location first. So I'm like,
right,
go over. I'm thinking, go over my house, go over my house, go over my house. I'm saying it and I don't know where I was going, but I was moving fast, really, really fast. And I couldn't see anything. And then all of a sudden, it was like that for maybe 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden, I just stopped. And then everything just poof, lit up gray. And I was I wasn't moving at all. I was just floating in nothingness. Just like,
okay. So when you fell backwards, what was the sensation like? How long?
yeah, that
How
was
long did it
the,
take? How long did it take from falling backwards until you were in this
oh,
gray matter?
yeah, the whole thing would be like 10 seconds. I started to fall back and I don't think I fell back. I didn't fall right back. Like I just started to fall back and whoof, I was gone. Just like that.
So
You
you're
know, like
so you're
it's like instantly all of a sudden I was just felt like I was just soaring across the universe.
and
Like it was just like at
now,
the speed of light.
but were you also very alert and very
Oh yes.
I
Yes.
mean just alert like you are now talking to me?
Yes. Like I all of a sudden it was like I was awake, but I wasn't awake.
Gotcha. Yeah,
You know.
that's how it
Yeah.
is. I mean, I'm telling you, when all you guys that are trying out there that have their first experience like Ivan did, you're going to be very surprised because you're going to be like, wait, I thought I was going to be kind of dreamy or something. No, you were going to be
No, yeah.
wide awake, like just like I'm talking and Ivan's talking right now. You're going to be so wide awake, and you're going to be very surprised because nothing's going to be different than your waking life because you are going to be awake in that regard. It's just your body's going to be asleep.
Yeah. The only difference I notice is that like you're very conscious, very aware, but you don't think like you normally do. Like you don't have the senses of worry or being afraid or
Right.
I was like, I couldn't care less where I went. I was just happy to be there, you know.
Right. No. Well,
I had no
see.
concerns, no concerns. It was just like, whatever. Oh, great. Oh, nothingness. I'm floating. Or normally that would, you
Right.
think that would freak you out, right? Like you think, where am I? That would really freak you out. But I wasn't freaked out or anything. I just was just like, oh wow, I'm just floating here in nothing. Yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I was probably like in this, yeah. So I started to fall back, and it was just a really interesting sensation how I was kind of like the way I was cushioned when I fell back, and just the way I was like flung forward, like really smoothly, like it's so smooth. And I just started picking up speed, 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 until I was just like, felt like I was doing like the speed of light, but I couldn't see anything in that when I was ejected. Like I could just feel myself going, but I couldn't really see anything. Like I was just moving. I could just feel like I was moving, and it was very dark. But just for, like I said, like those 5 or 10 seconds, and then I was probably 10 seconds, and then
Hmm.
it just stopped all of a sudden, and everything lit up gray. It's a it's almost like being in like really heavy fog. It's not though, because you don't. It's not like a fog where you can see it. It's just is like it's just lit up kind of gray where I was, and there was absolutely nothing, like to see or to hear or to. And you're just. I was floating, and I kind of felt like it was hard to control myself. Like, if I wanted to kind of turn this way or that way, like it
Hmm.
was really like hard because you're just floating, so you got nothing to push against or grab, or you kind of feel like a baby on its back trying to turn over or trying to move or trying to, like, I turned over, but it was really hard to. It was like
Hmm.
I would like turn and I would get like halfway around, and it almost felt like then it was like you're pulled back. You know what I mean? And it was like, so it was
Hmm.
like a struggle to turn, and I got turned over, and I'm kind of floating there. I would say I was there probably 30 seconds. Like that's how long I was there, but that I don't know, but that's what it felt like. And then all of a sudden, as quick as, just like instantly, and I would, like, while I was floating, I was thinking, go to my house, go to my house, go to my house. I didn't think that first. I was supposed to think that first, because as soon as I realized that I could just fall back, I just did it. I didn't even second think it. Like I didn't even think to. You're supposed to think of a location and like have an intention, right, of location.
Hmm.
So I think that's might have why I went to this nothingness, because it was like, where are we going to put them? Like they didn't
Hmm.
know where to put. So,
Hmm.
anyways, then I was floating there, say, it felt like 30 seconds or so. And then all of a sudden, just like instantly, like I wasn't traveling, it was just like as quick as you could snap your fingers. I was standing in the middle of someone's house. Whose house? I have no idea. And there
Nice.
was three, yeah, there was three people in there. There was an older man in the living room. There was an older woman, and I assumed their daughter, a younger woman, in the bedroom. And this was in the morning when this happened to me, Wednesday morning. And like the time seemed to be right, because the women were making the bed in the bedroom.
Hmm.
Like one woman was on one side of the bed, the other woman was on the other. They were making the bed, and they were talking loud back and forth to the man in the living room. And I was standing there in the living room with him when I appeared there. And I'm
Hmm.
like, where am I? I had no idea where I was. Like it could have been a place around here or something. I don't know. Because it was quite a small place.
Maybe you did go to your
Right.
house. You just didn't go to
Yeah.
your house now. Maybe this
Right.
was your house in another life or something.
Right. Well, that's what I was thinking, after, like a day later, I was just all going through my head. I'm like, well, that place was like the same size as our house, which is quite small. And like we've had this place, like it's been in my family for almost 45 years.
Hmm.
So this could have been, and then since like before we got it, it was completely different in here. So like all the walls were different, everything was totally different. Like the place was completely gutted and redone like way back.
Wow.
So I started thinking, hey, this I could have been here 50 years ago when somebody else lived here before everything was redone in here. And I can't remember exactly how it was 45 years ago. Like back then, so it could have been is I got when it comes to the timeline thing and stuff, I'm not really exactly sure how all that works, and but I could have been.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
So what
But
else? What else did you see in this place? Did you? Yeah. Did you notice anything in the house that might give you any clue as to where you may have been,
yeah,
like
not
in what
not
part of the
really.
world or anything?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I know that they were I know they were speaking English.
Hmm.
What they actually were saying, I don't remember, but they were talking back and forth. And I just all of a sudden appeared in this living room from that gray void, like just instantly, just standing there. And then I was walking. I walked through the living room. It's kind of like an L shaped inside, and I was like trying to turn. I could when I walked down towards the end of the living room, I could see into the bedroom and see two women in there making the bed. And I was trying to turn to go that way, and it was like I had trouble turning. It was weird. It was like I was kind of
Hmm.
like half walking, half floating, and I was like trying to turn left, and I kind of kept going straight. I almost kind of ended up against the wall, turned looking down the other way
Yeah.
because I couldn't. It was weird. I couldn't go around the corner. It was like I was trying to turn left, and I just kept going straight when I was walking.
Hmm.
But it was kind of a weird feeling. Like I guess
Well, yeah. I call those
go
your
ahead.
astral legs.
Yeah.
So you got to get used to that. You got to get used to thinking you're
Yeah.
walking instead of actually, using your muscles
Yeah.
to walk.
Well, when you see people like on the space station or something, and they're kind of like floating around, and
Mm-hmm.
they're trying
Exactly.
to the way they maneuver, it was like that. Like the sensation was just like that,
Exactly.
where you're
Yeah.
kind of like you're floating, and it's like you got nothing. It's like you don't have good solid ground to grab and turn or walk, or you're just kind of like you're starting to kind of float, and you kind of go in the wrong direction you want to go. It's like I want to go that way, and you're kind
Mm-hmm.
of going this way, and then you're almost feel like you're like half swimming, like you're it's almost like the sensation of swimming in a swimming pool. Like have you ever been in the bottom of a swimming pool and try to walk?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind
Yeah.
of like that. It's
Try
kind
to
of like
do
that.
anything. Yeah. Like that's
You try
why.
to turn to go this way and you can't. Like,
Yeah, just like
yeah,
those synchronized swimmers always get me because I'm like, I know what they're doing and how hard that is.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's like that.
because I've tried to do what they do, just for fun, and I can't even do the first little thing they do, like let alone the whole routine. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that's why astronauts train in a pool before they go to space.
Right, right.
They actually
Yeah,
train in big pools because it's a lot like that. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
It
for
is.
sure. Now, so you don't remember like when they were talking? Were the women they were making the bed? Were they talking or anything like that?
Yeah, they were talking with the man in the living room. So like they were kind of like talking loud back. Like he was like sitting in the living room on the couch,
Or did they have a
and
Canadian accent or anything?
I don't know, but they yeah, they were talking. What they said, I wasn't absorbing. I was just in awe, and I was just looking around like, wow. I was trying to figure. I don't know. I really wasn't too concerned where I was. It was like I didn't really care. Like it was just you're just having this experience, and you don't really think too hard about it. Like you're just kind of going, and oh, what's over here? What's over there? You're just curious. I found that was like the only thing was on my mind, like you're really conscious and aware, but the only thing was on my mind was curiosity, like, you know, oh, I wonder what's around over here. What's over there? Oh wow, look at that. Like you don't really have a care in the world. Like
Yeah, you're right. I know what
you
you're
have no
talking about.
concern about anything. Like you're not like, oh, how am I gonna get back? Or where the heck am I? Or where you're not thinking like that at all. You're just being. You're just being and just just
Yeah.
going with the flow. Just going with the flow and
That's
you're kind of like
yeah.
a kid again, like you're just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so you saw the living room, right? That's where you landed.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. I just was standing there. Yeah.
did you try to communicate with the man there in the living room at all? I mean, did he
No,
act
because
like
like
he sensed you in the room, or did any animals in the house
no,
sense you or anything?
nobody see me. I knew they couldn't see me because when I was first standing there, he was standing not too far away from me, and then he was talking. Soon as I arrived there, he was in the middle of talking to the women in the bedroom, even though he couldn't see them from where he was, but the door was open and it's not that far away, and he was talking. Then I'm standing there and it's like, okay, well, he can't see me because like he was only about maybe 8 feet away from me, and he was talking, and then he just kind of turned and sat on the couch, and yeah, he couldn't see me at all or anything. I realized that, and then I started to walk to go towards the bedroom. Like right when he was talking, when I first arrived there, I couldn't see into the bedroom. So I started walking down to the end of the living room, kind of like half floating, half walking, trying to get my ground. Like I was like, and I was trying to turn around. But I got to the end of the room, I kind of went against the wall because I couldn't turn, like I said. But I could turn my body and face them, but I couldn't walk over that way for some reason. But then I was in a position where I could see him and the women in the bedroom, and I was just standing there watching them, listen to them talk. What they were talking about or that, I have no idea. I have no recollection of that.
Hmm.
I just know that they were vividly remember them talking, but
Yeah, so
it
they're
was
making.
like I wasn't really concentrating on what they were saying.
Yeah, so once you went past the bedroom where they were making the bed, and you said you kind of felt like you kind of got pushed into the corner of the wall or something, right?
Well, I just kind of like ended up walking kind of against the wall because I couldn't turn. I couldn't make the turn around the corner. So like when I got to where I was kind of like turned facing the bedroom, but I was still going the way, like I was still kind of going sideways. Like I wasn't going forward. I was still going, like it was, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like I could turn to face them, but I couldn't actually walk around the corner for some reason.
Hmm.
So I kind of ended up more against the wall, missing the turn. But I could turn my body and see them like I was seeing everyone. And I just kind of stood there. And I was like, turning, looking at him, then turn looking in the bedroom.
Well,
And
was it a big house?
no, like so I'm saying, it was very small. It was just a living room, a bedroom, and a bathroom.
Like
Like
maybe
it was like an L shape.
like an
The living
apartment,
room,
maybe.
it could have been. Like it was like a long, like the living room was like the long part of the L, and then the foot part of the L was kind of like the bedroom and bathroom area.
Hmm.
That's all there was that I could see anyway.
Kind of
That's
reminds me
all I
like of bumper cars. Bumper cars you can steer, but not really good. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
you,
exactly.
you have to kind of
Or
keep
so
turning that thing
or when you
like
go
over and over.
or skiing. I don't know if you ever went skiing where you're trying to turn one way but you just keep going straight.
Right. Oh my God. I remember learning how to ski. That was awesome. Actually, anybody that skis out there will know what I'm talking about. Like in the beginning, you fall down all the time, your skis come off, and after a while, you get really good, and you don't do that anymore. But actually, you kind of miss that, because that was kind of the fun of it is learning. But yeah. That's awesome. So, Did you explore anywhere else? Or I guess there wasn't very much to explore, really, because
No, there wasn't very much to
this.
explore. Yeah, I was just kind of standing there watching them. I was in a position where I could see everybody, and he would talk, I'd look at him, they would talk, I'd look over at them. I was just kind of standing there.
So you didn't notice
Um,
any pets or anything in the house?
no, no, there was no
Hmm.
pets.
Yeah,
It was
because
just the three.
pets can sense you when you're in somebody's like in this
Oh yeah,
locale. Yeah.
wow. Because I see my dog staring at stuff all the time. I don't know what she's looking at.
Yeah, Linda is wondering the same thing I'm wondering in the comments. She said, I wonder, Ivan, what kind of clothes they were wearing. It may indicate a clue of the timeline. Do you remember anything they were wearing? Like anything, like were they dressed for bed or
Uh,
anything like that? Or
yeah. It's really, really hard to. Like they were just wearing regular clothes, like nothing distinctive, like nothing so old that the clothes were different. Like it could have been, you know, 70s or 80s or you know, I don't think it would be any like they were just wearing. If I can remember correctly, he was just wearing like jeans, blue jeans. The
hmm,
women, the women were wearing. Yeah, that's a good question. I'd really have to think about,
hmm,
like, try to remember because I don't
hmm,
think there was anything distinctive with the clothing, or I can't 100% remember. They might have been wearing. Yeah, I can't remember what the women were wearing.
hmm. Like, were they?
I
Do you
can't
remember if they
remember.
were
They
wearing a
were
hat?
wearing. Nobody was wearing a hat. They weren't
Yeah.
wearing shorts or anything. They were wearing like long pants and shirts. You know,
Okay.
that's about as detailed as I could get on that.
Huh.
Um,
Hmm.
I
It's,
remember some like a red shirt on one of them. Uh, yeah, I can't. It's cloudy. It's cloudy. I don't want to say something that's not. Yeah, I'm cloudy on that.
yeah, that's
Can't really
cool.
verify that.
Was it? Do you
Yeah.
remember what kind of floor it was? Was it carpeted? Was it a wooden floor or anything like that?
Yeah, interesting. I think it was more like a indoor outdoor carpet.
Huh.
You know, like
Okay.
it was like a carpet but like really short, you know what I mean? Like like that carpet people
Like
put
a kind of
outside.
like. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
like that.
maybe it was like kind of like a vacation cabin rental or
Well,
something.
that's what I had a thinking because like where I live is in
Yeah.
cottage country. Like
Right.
it's all cottages here. And nowadays around here, everyone's building huge houses. But back in the day, like all these places were like our place, they're all little small boxes, like window boxes,
Yeah.
you know? So it was like that style.
Hmm.
Like it wasn't that style. So I mean, there's like I live on an island here, but there's, um, I think about 120 cottages on this island. So
Okay.
it could have been any one of them, and I don't certainly don't know everyone. So it could have been a cottage like close by here.
Yeah.
Like
Ken in Wisconsin wants to know if you smelled anything like food, cooking, or like did you have any
interesting. Yeah, no, I didn't.
smells or anything?
No, I don't
Scents.
remember. No, no, I don't have any recollection of any smells at all. No,
Hmm.
I don't remember anything like that. No,
Hmm.
I
That's
mean,
interesting.
I could have noticed things at the time that I just didn't fully remember. I don't. I'm just telling you everything I fully remember,
Hmm.
but I don't remember any smells. No.
You'll probably remember things as time goes on. Like I know
Well,
when I had my experiences in the beginning, you know I would remember things later on. Like things would download more details about
well, it's
my
funny you say that
experiences.
because it's funny you say that because I was awake probably half an hour before I remembered that I appeared in that house. Like when I first woke up, all I remembered was the floating in this gray void.
Really, you didn't
And
remember the house
yeah,
at all?
Not when I first woke up, no. But I
Hmm.
was like, I'm half asleep, I'm groggy, and I was like, wow, that was quite the experience. And I think I was floating in this void, and I was like trying to. I got up, I went out, and I made a coffee. Probably about the time I made a coffee, it started coming back. And I was like, wait a second, I remember. Like all of a sudden, I was instantly in this house, and then I remembered everything from there. But I was awake probably 20 minutes, half hour before I had all kind of came back to me. Like at first, I was just remembering the void that I was in,
Mm.
but
So,
from there, it did. From there, I mean, I just felt I was standing there watching them talk, and then all of a sudden, I just jolted in my bed, and I was like, jolted like a foot off the bed, and I just like was there in my bed.
wow.
So it was like probably like 5 minutes in total is what it felt like, the whole thing. Just all of a
Wow.
sudden, I was like back in my bed again.
So you didn't think about your body or anything? You just automatically came
No,
back?
yep, I didn't think anything. I was just standing there,
That's normal.
kind of looking around, and all of a sudden, I just felt this really big jolt, and I was back in my body in my bed, and I just went back to like I just instantly started. I was just went back to sleep.
Yeah, no, that's normal. That happens. I mean, I don't think I've ever had to think about my body to come back. I just always came back.
Yeah,
Um,
I
and
I
then
guess if your body moves,
yeah, it's weird how that happens because I remember my first really big experience that I wrote a big blog about that I'm still trying to find so I can share it with you guys. But I didn't really go back to sleep. I just kind of slipped back into my body, and I was already so wide awake, and I was excited that I just automatically just got up because I never went to sleep like that. But there are more times than not. That's exactly what will happen after you get through traveling or your experience. You'll actually go back to sleep, and then you'll wake up, and of course you remember everything after that, for sure.
yeah, yeah, like I knew that I was back in my body, and I was like, wow, that's incredible. But I don't even like remember falling back asleep, but I did like right away. Like, I just like and when I woke up, I remembered that what happened. Like I remember jolting and being back, but I just it wasn't a conscious decision. I just went back to sleep.
Now, before your lucid dream, were you attempting to project, or did you just fall asleep as normal?
I've been attempting to, um, but always end up falling asleep. But I'll tell you, yesterday, again, two times I woke up and felt like I was in the middle of my bed, like literally down in the middle of my bed. So I'm wondering if I was projecting and just floating there because it was because I kept having this sensation like I sunk down into my bed.
Mm.
Twice it happened. I kind of jolted like whoa, like I was like I don't know. I almost had the feeling like I left, but was just like hovering there, and then I would jolt and then be back inside my body. Like it happened twice when I was
Wow.
sleeping yesterday. So they can. I'm not real sure what I mean. Did that just happen again? Like I just kind of like came out of my body and was just floating over top, and then kind of jolted and then back in again. Because it felt like maybe like I left and sunk down into the bed, like literally inside the bed, like down below.
Yeah, that's
And then I
how.
like, and I felt, and I kind of jolted and felt like I come back up on top of the bed again. So two
Yeah,
times that happened yesterday.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, that's the first thing that happened to me when I was first trying. That was the first experience. It wasn't very long. I went through the bed all the way to the floor,
Oh yeah.
and then I actually came back up through my body and then above my body, and then I snapped back. That was my first couple
Wow.
times.
Well, that's what happened to me yesterday. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. So you're
I
right
didn't
on
go to the
target.
I didn't go to the floor, but I felt like I was like below my body, like you're saying, like it sink down.
Yeah,
Like I had this sensation like I was sunk way down inside the bed, and then the jolt kind of woke me up, and I felt myself come up. Like
that's awesome.
that happened 2 times in one sleep.
Yeah,
Yesterday, yeah.
that's awesome.
It's like, oh man, I didn't go anywhere.
Are you able to are you able to see the comments people are making right now?
Oh, yeah, I haven't been reading, but
Your sister from
okay,
another mister is
Smelly.
here.
Yeah, love you,
Donna's
Donna.
Donna's in the house.
Oh, I love her too. She's awesome. Who else here?
Does anybody have any
Sandra.
questions
Hi, Sandra.
for Ivan? We'll wait for somebody to ask you a question. But this experience reminds me of an experience I had where I actually ended up in a strange house that I wasn't trying to go to. It was the first time I had really gone to a stranger's house, and I didn't know it was a lady, and it was like a 3 or 4 year old in a one of those playpens, and
Right? Yep.
yeah. Oh, let's see. I got your back, twin. Yeah, I was in this house. It was like a normal, maybe a 2-bedroom house, and I ended up in the living room, and there was a playpen there with this kid in there, and that's all I saw was this kid, and I was like, "What's up? How's it going? And it saw me. This kid saw me. Like
Wow.
I guess a lot of kids see they're able to see us when we're astral projecting or ghosts or whatever. So it saw me, and I was talking to it, and then the mother came in the living room and glanced over, and she saw her kid talking to me, and she was looking all around like, and this little boy was pointing to me, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, right. Huh?
I kind of felt weird because I felt like I was intruding on their privacy. But I didn't mean to. I just happened to just pop there.
Same with me. Yeah. I could think of a lot more interesting places to go than somebody's living room I don't know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I haven't figured out how to control it either. Whether you go to the astral realm or just stay around here. I don't know how to control that exactly yet, but I think it has to do with your intention. And I'm like you, I'm more curious than sometimes the experience will happen and I just go with it like you did. And I'm not really focusing on my attention like I'm supposed to be. And I think that's...
Yeah, you don't think of like that way. You don't think the same. Like you're fully conscious and aware, but the way you think is different. You don't even think about that stuff, really. Other than I was like really wanting to go over my house. Like I wanted to like go to my house. Like being the first time, I just want to like roam around here where I'm comfortable and know where I am, first kind of thing. So I kept saying, "Go to my house, go to my house, go." I just kept saying that over and over again. But then I appeared in somebody else's house. But yeah. So maybe I was late on that idea because I didn't have an intention before it happened. So because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, and I didn't expect this lady to kind of freak out either, and I kind of felt bad because I was like, well, I was excited just to have this experience, but so I was trying to tell the lady it's okay, and I'm not here to hurt you or nothing like that, and she picked up her kid and was just looking all around, like, and took him out of the room, and I sort of followed just to see where they were going to go and stuff, but then I ended up going somewhere else after that, so I got kind of disinterested in that one.
Yeah, I wish I had more a little more time than I did. Like I just, yeah, like I got pulled back before and had no, like I wasn't trying to. All of a sudden, I just felt this huge jolt. Like
Yeah.
I must have come a foot off my bed.
Well,
And
Robert Monroe says in his books that I've read that he calls this locale 1 our reality, and then locale 2 is like on the astral planes outside of here, out on another dimension
right,
and other
right,
dimensions. But he says this takes more energy to do if you stay here. And so I can agree with that because, um, when I've had experiences here in this locale, it definitely takes more energy to move around and stuff. And then you get kind of, I guess you just use up your energy, and then that's when you come back to your body, I guess. I'm not sure how that
right,
works.
right.
I don't
Yeah.
know if you could take an extra tank of energy with you somehow. I'm
Well,
not
I tell
sure.
you, all day Wednesday, I was just in a daze. Like I was just in a daze, and I kind of felt drained. But like I wasn't, not like I was really exhausted, tired, but just mentally, I was just like drained. Not physically, like just I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but I just kind of felt like like when you wake up and you're kind of in a daze a bit. Like it never went away all day. Like I just kind of felt like I never fully woke up all day. I
Mm.
was just kind of in a daze about it, and I just was thinking about it, and I just
Oh, yeah. I mean, wait till you have the experiences where it takes 10 years to figure it out. Those are the cool ones because, yeah, I didn't do this for 10 years because it was that profound. Like, it took a long time to process what I experienced. And, yeah, until you do it, you can't understand that. Like, people say, well, why aren't you doing it more often? Da, 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 da. Because sometimes you have to take a break, and it's like you got to stay grounded here, or else there's no reason to be here. Like,
right, right.
yes, it's cool when you're out and about of your body, but then you become detached with this society here totally. Like let's say your wife Tizzy. If you were gone all the time, you would lose total touch with her and her reality, and there would be no reason for you to be with her, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It goes on and on. You can go on and on. Like,
Right, sure,
yeah,
sure.
it's either you know, um, you know, there's no use to be here if you're always there on the other side. I guess you could say.
Yeah,
And then I'm telling you, you're going to have these experiences that it's going to take a while to process because it's going to blow your mind. Like, I
yeah.
think,
I'm so excited now. It gives sleep a whole new meaning.
yeah, I know. But see,
You know.
yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm ready to do it again because I see the value in it. I mean, look at all the knowledge you can gain and bring back. And that's what I want to do with all you guys. I want us to all travel together and, get as much knowledge as we can and bring it back and help our fellow mankind as much as we can, like
Yeah,
especially
I
with like
think it's possible.
free energy and things like that. That's what I want to
Yeah,
figure out. And
for
you
sure.
know oh, Ken asked a very good question. When are you in when you are in someone's house like that, are you able to pick up objects and move them? I'll let you answer that, Ivan.
I don't know because I didn't try. I was just yeah. I didn't even think about that. Like I was just standing there, kind of
Do you remember how the walls felt
just
or the
watching them
door?
talk. I was just watching them talk, and well, the walls were like paneling, like the old paneling from the '70s. I guess a
Like,
lot of people still use it, but
yeah,
in the '70s here, it was really big to panel, like that
right.
dark paneling sheeting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was like that. It was like that.
like you would find in a manufactured home.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It was like that, like a dark, like brown,
but
like wood kind of.
could you feel the texture? Do you remember feeling anything like a door jam or
Um,
anything like that?
I never touched anything other than just walking on the floor. I just kind of like walked as far as I could. I just could only walk at a straight line. It was weird. I could turn and face where I wanted to, but I was like on this trajectory line that I couldn't get off of. So I just kind of stopped and turned and faced them, and I was just standing there watching them talk. That's all I really did.
Mm.
Like I wasn't there a real long time. Like I only felt like I was there a few minutes, you know.
Yeah,
I was
and
only there.
my answer, Ken, in my experience is, yeah, it's more of an observing experience. It's not a touching experience and moving things. Now, I do remember trying to do that. I do. I've been curious about that myself when I'm having my experiences. But you can try to interact with things in that environment. You can, like, but I think you're just going to go, like your hand will go through it and stuff. Like it's more of an observing thing. It's not a
Yeah,
physical
that's what I
interaction
felt.
thing.
I didn't feel like the tendency to do anything like that. Like I just, like you say, I was just observing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just observing what was going
Now,
on around me, and that's.
I had an experience. Okay, so I've had experiences where I was able to communicate with people in a place. It was in this case, the first thing I can remember doing that was I was trying to figure out how to communicate with that dimension that I was in, and so I found out it took a long time to figure this out, but I figured out that if I turned the dial on the radio a certain way, it would kind of I figured out that the frequencies in this dimension were different than ours, and if you turn the dial a little bit offset, I could get some kind of a radio wave to eke out or something, and get their attention that way, like the frequencies. If you mess with frequencies in a dimension, you can get somebody's attention that way. And I was able to use that frequency to communicate somehow. I'm still kind of processing that one, but I was able to communicate with a person in another dimension that I was in, and I was observing, and but it was actually a glimpse of a life I was living somewhere like in South America. I want to say it was like Brazil, like Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I was in this high-rise apartment when it happened. And I knew the people in this high-rise apartment, like not in this life, but I knew them in this other life, I guess you could say. And I was trying to communicate with them because what happened is I had committed suicide. I know it's kind of weird in this life, and I was trying to tell them that I was okay, even though they thought I was, they were grieving or whatever. But I was able to communicate with them, and it took a long time. And I actually did it in writing, but I wrote using a frequency. I know it sounds crazy, but I wrote with this ink, and the frequency interacted with the ink somehow, and I was able to communicate with this female. I think she was my girlfriend. It wasn't my wife, but I think it was a girlfriend in this life, and I was able to somehow do it. And then, but I'm still to this day processing that experience, like, because frequencies are very important, and I figured out that we don't have the frequencies I was using in this life, in this dimension. We don't have instruments that can pick up this kind of frequency here. And I was like, but I don't know how to make an instrument to do it yet. I guess you could say. That's why I'm still kind of processing.
Wow.
It. But I could tell, like, I learned that if I use the manual dial on a radio, and you know how in between stations you get that static, that's where these frequencies reside. They're like offset. They're not like they're like offset. There's like a, not in a linear way, but like in a three-dimensional way. You'd have to turn the wave around and then half it. Like here we have lower sideband, upper sideband on a radio, like on a shortwave radio. But in this case, you had to like put it in a three-dimensional shape and then turn it and then cut it or something. And we just don't have the kind of equipment to do that here. It's kind of like that. So I'm still processing that one, but maybe one day I'll figure that one out. But yeah, there is a way to communicate and touch things, Ken, but it's not easy. It's not easy.
Well, I'm sure it takes lots of experience like you have. Like this is my first trip.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I am so happy for you, man. I knew one of you were gonna have one soon. And now, how many nights did it take you? Less than 56, right?
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny because like I mean, I've been lucid dreaming for ever since this all started for me, and I just didn't know that I could do that. I had no idea that you could go from a lucid dream to the astral plane that way.
Mm.
So
that's actually the easiest way to do it. If you fall asleep, because you're going to fall asleep every time in the beginning, because it takes practice to do all those things, and I'm going to go over those in a minute, just as a refresher.
Well, I've been trying a bit, but yeah, it was never. I've been close, and then it's just so hard to stay awake. Like you're just like it's just pulling you to sleep. Like you're trying to stay awake. I know you're close. Like I've, got to the.
Yeah.
I was like one night I was like so close, and I kind of got, to the point where I was like at the edge of sleeping or past the edge of sleeping, and then I kind of woke up a little bit, and like there was like this big eye staring at me.
Oh, right. I remember you telling me that's this one.
Yeah. Like maybe in my eyelids, like it was just like filled the whole, it was like this huge human eye, like it was brown human eye, just like looking at me. And it kind of brought me because I started thinking too hard.
Yeah. Didn't I tell you to look in the center of the pupil next time or something?
Yeah. I remember you saying that, but yeah, I was like, what the? I was, started looking at it, and then I kind of started coming to awake, but it kind of knocked me out of it. I got a meditation. I don't know where I was at that point, like how close I.
Yeah. So what do you think your biggest hurdle has been so far in your attempts? Like to date, like when you're trying. I'm not sure. I've got to the point where I've heard knocking on the wall, like you said, and it seems to knock you out of it, like kind of like makes you kind of jolt a little bit, or like whoa. My biggest hurdle, I fall asleep. I'm there, and I'm like, hold on, I'm trying to like, and you kind of like, you're like kind of go to sleep, you wake up, you're kind of going to sleep, you wake up, kind of going to sleep, you wake up. It's hard to keep that intention. The intention is hard.
And then I wake up later going, oh man, I fell asleep again.
I know, it is so disappointing, but then there's always the next time. You tell yourself, right?
But you're totally right, like you said, like it's better to sleep a bit and then get up, wake up a bit, and then go back, because that's what happened to me. I woke up, I only slept a few hours, and I woke up, and my dog woke me up, gave me something to eat, So I got up and so I got up and I made the dog breakfast, and I think I sat down for a half an hour or so, and then I was like kind of falling asleep at the computer, and I was like, oh man, I got to go back to bed and get more
Yeah.
sleep. So I went back and laid down. Yeah, like this happened at like 9 o'clock Wednesday morning. So I got up at like 6 or 7 in the morning, and then laid back down. And this happened about 9 o'clock, 9:30, something like
Yeah.
that. Because I woke up and got up at 10 because I was up late, and then I only slept a bit, and then I went back again. And that's exactly when it happened. I find if I'm up all day and you go to bed and you're tired, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's really hard
For me anyway, because you're just too tired, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You need to be a little bit. You need to be tired enough you can go to sleep, kind of, but not so tired that you're just zonked out. You know?
And actually, that's the best time to do it when you're zonked out like that. But
oh yeah,
yeah, because you can you can put your body to sleep really fast, and it's all about your mental ability to fight the sleepiness, like, because if you can get past the sleepiness point, because you gotta remember our spirit body or soul doesn't need sleep, so that is got to be your driving force. So you got to remember that, like, okay, I'm really tired, but that's just my body telling me I'm tired. It's not my spirit telling me that, and that is what you have to focus on.
right.
And remember that. If you can focus on that when you're really tired like that, and that's hard because it's easier said than done, but that you can go real fast into a projection if you're really tired like that. But you just have to have the mental fortitude. You have to stay vigilant.
Right. Yeah, I've never been able to do it, in that way. But
Alvary's asking you a question.
Oh. Well, I told him this morning. Well, like you said before, I heard you saying, write a note and stick it on your fridge, and I'll come and see if I can read it.
Yeah.
He said, you're welcome anytime.
Yeah.
So we were talking about that with Donna too. The three of us were saying, okay, we're all going to put notes on our fridge so that
right.
if we end up at each other's house, we'll see if we can read the note and say, hey, I got proof I was there, and your note says such and such, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just write down a phrase or something and don't tell anybody and see if somebody can get it.
Yeah. Now we just got to really think hard about getting on that cliff at El Capitan. That's what we got to focus on that.
Absolutely. Well, that's where I just had a bit of a nap there before I came on here with you, and I was thinking, oh man, okay, if this happens this time, that's where I'm going. El Capitan, here I come. So I had that intention when I fell asleep, but I just slept like a log. I don't remember anything. So
yeah,
I was hoping I'd have another experience to tell you.
Yeah. So, do any of you guys have any more questions for Ivan before we move on to our next topic? And what we're going to do, Ivan, we're going to talk about the different steps on how to get into...
I was just going to say, I never have tried that candle trick yet.
Ah. Yeah.
You stare at the candle.
Well, that's just...
I know Donna's been doing that.
Yeah.
Donna's been doing she said that was helping her.
That's how I first learned how to see where my third eye was, because I didn't even know what a third eye was. I was like, okay, what is this stuff here? So yeah, the candle technique, or you can actually look at your monitor too, your computer monitor or something that's kind of bright. And you stare at it, kind of like when you remember when we were kids, we had those magic eye posters where it just looks like a bunch of art. But then if you stare really close, you kind of lazily stare at it, you'll see another picture inside the picture. Remember those?
Wow, yes, I do. Yes, I used to do those all the time.
So
We used to get them in the newspaper every week. There would be a whole page like in the newspaper of those where you stare at them and then like you look at it. There's no picture. Is that what you're down about? It's just all like
well, it could be a
dots
picture
or something.
Yeah,
and if you stare at it, you let your eyes go blurry, and all of a sudden, boom! This three-dimensional floating
dragon
object comes out. Yeah. We used to get those they used to be in the paper every week, in the newspaper.
Right. Actually, there's quite a few on YouTube and stuff too.
Oh yeah, now, but back then there was no.
And
I'm dating myself.
Right
there
when
was no computer.
Yeah, right when the internet first came out, they also had these little they look kind of like a negative on a photo. You know, when you get your negatives back. Remember, you used to get your negatives back when you used to take your photos to like a good drugstore or something to get them developed or whatever. They gave you the negatives. It looks like that, and when you look at the negative for a while, and then you blink your eyes on like a white surface, you'll see the actual picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have seen one of those online. Yeah.
Yeah, like
that really works. That's wow.
It does.
That really.
So that's kind of what the candle technique does, because you don't look at the flame. You look at the little. Space between the blue and the orange. There's a little space there. If you stare at that,
I found one. I think it was
there. And then you stare at it for a while. Then you close your eyes. You'll actually see where your third eye is. You know.
Right. Well, they actually have a candle on YouTube. I guess a close up of a
really?
Candle. Yeah, and if you open it right up, so like if you're on a big screen, you can open it up and there's this huge candle, like, and it's a real close up of the flame. And you stare at that. That's pretty wild.
Well, you can do that with anything too on your screen, for that matter.
I think Donna sent it to me.
I'm telling you, like you can make your phone look like a 60-inch TV if you stare at it long enough, right?
Right.
Like if you just sit there and stare at it long enough, it'll get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it'll be like way out here. Like, so the candle kind of does the same thing too.
Well, I noticed when you stare at the candle. Like I haven't done it with a real candle, but I just for a few minutes, like 5 minutes, was staring at the one on YouTube, and it splits into two when you're staring at it. So I don't know what to do at that point. If you're trying to keep your focus as one, or you let it split like that, and then I don't know, I think heard somebody say you try to cross it with your eyes without moving your eyes or something like that. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do, but when I start staring at it, it splits into two candles. Looks like I'm looking at two candles.
Well, you would have to have two wicks then to do that.
No, but I mean, my vision. You know, when you stare at something and it splits into two, like each eye is seeing it individually, so it looks like two. You know what I mean?
No.
You know? You've never stared at something and seen it like all of a sudden kind of like
Well, I
split side by side and you see two images, but it's,
you know what I mean? Well,
That's
I'm not wearing my glasses right now, so yeah, that would happen right now probably, because I have a slight stigmatism in this eye, I think it is. Yeah.
Me, anyways, if I stare at it, I let my eyes kind of go blurry, I guess, and then it's into two.
Yeah, if you let them go blurry. Yeah, like a seeing eye poster.
I need to blink to make it go back into one again. Like it keeps wanting to go into two candles on me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're supposed to let that happen or you keep blinking your eyes so that it stays as one candle.
Yeah. Do we have any new subscribers out there that missed my last 2 streams on Astral Projection at all? Because that will determine how I proceed. Or any other questions for Ivan? Linda's knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, Linda says it splits. Yeah, I just seen that.
Yeah.
I haven't been really watching the screen here because I'm not in sync with you. Like,
Hey, Kevin.
So it messes up my head. Hear you talking, but you're not talking on the screen, and it's like, so
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't looking at.
So we have a new. Hey, Kevin. It's nice to meet you, man, and welcome to the family. You're gonna want to subscribe to our Facebook group. It's Game of Scrolls. Just go to Facebook, go to Game of Scrolls, and that's how you get to where we hang out every day and talk about all this stuff. Yeah, that's cool. But you don't have to if you don't want, because I'm gonna review what we've already learned if you don't want to. Also, if you wait one more day, today I just put up our very first fast lane video. So I took our very first stream on Astral Projection and I've cut all the fluff out, the meet and greet, most of the meet and greet and all that kind of stuff, and I just had the Astral Projection material in it. There's a new playlist called Fastlane for all the people that don't really have much time to watch these long streams. So it takes time to do that, so bear with me. But I've been cutting these streams down and to like a lot smaller, so it's easier to consume if you're in a hurry. And so Kevin, here's the keys to the kingdom if you want to try this. Oh, before I get to that though, I wanted to go over something that a few people that have mentioned this over the last few weeks to me, and they have a good point. And I've tried to come about this in a different way to you guys, so you weren't, you didn't get scared and all this stuff. But as long as you have love in your heart and you have a really good intention, you're not going to go to places where you'll see bad things, really. If you are vibrating at a lower frequency, then you might see things you don't want to see. That's why you always want to have a really good intention. You always want to have a lot of love in your heart, because that raises your vibration and that allows you to go to good places when you come out of your body. So it's like, so I really haven't touched on this, but what I do, whenever I go, I usually, I have gratitude in my heart. Remember, we've been studying about gratitude. And gratitude, when you have thankfulness in your heart, that's even higher vibration than love. But it's almost the same vibration as love. And if you got both love and gratitude in your heart, man, you are just, you're way up here. So as long as you have that, you don't have to worry about experiencing anything negative, demons and stuff like that. You're never going to see that kind of stuff. But if you are really low, if you're like a really negative person, you're on a negative path in your life, you do not want to do this, because you're going to experience things you might not like. But if it makes you feel better, and I've just done this from the beginning, and I don't even think about it anymore, but I picture this, for me it's like a purple fluorescent light that surrounds my whole body, and it's like a protective shield around me, I guess you could say. I think of that, and I think the Infinite One, our Creator. Some people call it God. A million different things you could call this power that I can't even describe to you. But I thank them for allowing me the opportunity to do this. And I ask that my guides, maybe loved ones that have passed, anybody, my angels, anybody that wants to help me do this, I've always asked for all that help to help me do this. And this is important. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but Robert Monroe, when I was reading his books and doing his Hemisync program, he always says he always asked in his affirmation, you can call it a mantra, whatever you want to call it, your intention. He always asked that he wants to talk to somebody on his intelligence level or above. So if your intent is to do that, you won't get all these negative entities below, that are vibrating at a very low level and negative. So one of the techniques Robert Monroe teaches in his Hemisync course is just think of your body like just think of your body kind of expanding with light, and just this, in my case, it's like a fluorescent purple light. And just imagine your body expanding with this light, like you're going to kind of explode, but it just kind of grows, and you're just glowing this purple blue light, and just imagine that surrounding your whole field, your whole body. That's like a shield that protects you from any kind of danger or any kind of negativity. That's one technique you can use to do. You can visualize it flowing around you. Like just kind of like arcing, coming down, then arcing again, and then coming through your feet and back up into your head, just creating this giant bubble of light around you. That's how I look at it. That's how I see it. That's actually how a lot of people do grounding exercises. They imagine this light coming out of the earth and coming through them and then out their head, and then making a full circuit coming back through like solar plexus and then back down to the earth. That's how they ground themselves. Like they just visualize it happening. The gateway experience, that's right. That's what it's called. Yeah. I have that too, Alessandra. Figure the odds, right? I've had it for years. I can't remember how I got it. I think I got it from like a BitTorrent or something way back then, like on LimeWire or something. But it's awesome. But what I don't like about it is it's too short. Like as soon as I'm getting into the groove, it seems it's like either him or the lady starts talking, and it's like, wake up. And I'm like, I don't want to wake up. I want to stay in here. Ivan, can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay. Oh, all right. I just want to make sure my headphones were still working. Okay.
Yep. No, I just was trying to make sure it's quiet for you.
Oh no, you're fine. You can talk too. You're my guest tonight.
Yep. No, just when you're done, I put it on pause so that I don't hear any noise or shuffling around.
Yeah. Alec, Sandra Poo, I have not heard of Burt Goldman. Have you, Ivan? I've never heard of that.
Can you say that again? I didn't hear.
Alessandra is asking if we've heard of Burt Goldman.
Oh. No, I don't believe I have.
Okay. We'll discuss him maybe offline. Little sis.
Great. Okay.
She's a little sis.
She's great.
Yeah, she's awesome. Okay, so Kevin, I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom. Okay, so yeah, once you have this light kind of just picture yourself surrounded by light, and that's kind of like your shield while you're setting your intention. So Kevin, the first, and anybody else that's new here that hasn't heard me talk about astral projection, you can go back and listen to the first couple streams. Quantum jumping, dude. Alessandra, you're funny. Yes, I talk about quantum jumping all the time. You know that. So anyway, Kevin, what you want to do to project astral projection is, I learned about astral projection after my near-death experience because I wanted to know what happened to me. Like I came from a background in a religious family that, from a church that believed when you die, you don't even have a soul. You just stay in the ground until Jesus comes again, and then you're resurrected. That's how I grew up. So I didn't even know that we had a soul. I heard about other religions that talked about souls, but I didn't understand what all that was about. I had no idea. So when I had my near-death experience when I was like 40, 41 years old, I had no idea what was going to happen when all this happened. So in searching for answers online, I came across a group of people that actually taught me. They were like, Mark, you don't have to die to experience what you experienced. I'm like, really? And I'm like, okay, well, show me, homie, or whatever. I was like, so they taught me how to do this, and now I'm teaching you guys how to do it because, a lot of you found me through the Jeff Mara podcast, and he interviews people that have had near-death experiences every day. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to die and have one of these experiences to experience what we experienced. You can do this tonight in the comfort of your own bed, and you don't have to die to do it. So that's why we're here. Yeah. So, but Kevin, wait till you find out who your new family is here. You didn't find me by accident either. All of us have come together from all over the world all at the same time, and we all know each other. Like, it's amazing. Like, Ivan and I have known each other. We're brothers, and I had no idea I had a brother in way up in the woods in Canada somewhere. Yeah, and it's like that's not just with Ivan. It's with everybody that has come here. We all know each other. I mean, if I had a dime for every time somebody that has come here in the last 4 weeks have told me that they felt like they've known me for 100 lifetimes or something, I'd be very wealthy. But yeah, it's amazing what's happening here, and not just that, but the synchronicities we've experienced as a new family. I don't think we're new at all. I think everybody here has known each other, and we were all waiting for the Jeff Mara podcast to launch us here. That's the cool thing about this. He has about 76,000 subscribers now, but only 1,500 of you or less have come here from his podcast, and you are the ones that were meant to come here. Not all of his listeners were meant to come here. Just the ones that were supposed to come here. It's pretty cool. And we're all here for something much bigger than us. That's all I know. And Astral Projection seems to be the glue that holds us all together here. I had no idea I was going to be talking about this on this channel at all, because, eventually I was, but it became quite clear that this is what we all came here to learn more about, so we can travel the universe together. And yeah, it's just amazing what's happened here since my interview, that first interview with him. It's just been a life-altering event here. But anyway, so Astral Projection, I would say the majority of you guys coming over, that's what you asked me. When I asked you what you wanted to learn more about, that is the one thing that was a common denominator from all of you. You wanted to know about Astral Projection, so I just went on the air one night in the middle of the night and started talking about it. When I first because when I had my interview with Jeff, I had just met Jeff. I didn't even know Jeff. I had never watched his channel or nothing. It was a fluke on how we even met. so at the same time I had an interview with him, the very night I had my interview with him, I was launching this channel here. It had nothing to do with each other. I just happened to, it just, not a coincidence. We all know there's no such things as coincidences, but I just happened to be launching this channel, and I was going to teach ancient languages in hopes of reminding you who you were, or having you remember who you were, because when I had my near-death experience and when I had other astral projection experiences later on, I realized that I knew ancient languages in my soul, like in my DNA, I guess you could say. I remembered it. Our brains, and if you go back into the past streams, I'll tell you, like our brain is like it's like a trap. It traps us here in this reality. So we're not meant to remember these other lives because we came here for a certain experience. But I do think at some point, some of us, the ones that are here, we were meant to explore and look further. I think that's part of the experience we came here for. And we're not only going to do that, but we're going to help the future of this planet, I feel. I feel very strongly in my heart. That's why we're here, we're all here. That's why the astral projection has become front and center in this family, because it seems to be something that we need to be learning together, all of us. And so, so Kevin, join. There should be a link in this stream on the exact link. Also, if you go into our community tab in the YouTube channel, you should find where we're located. It's called Game of Scrolls. If you go to Facebook/groups/ and then just put Game of Scrolls, all one word. And we had one of our family members, AJ, came up with that name in the very first stream, and it stuck. And so now that's what we're called, is Game of Scrolls Soul Tribe. So yeah, just join that. You can send me a friend request on Facebook too. That way we're connected and you can interact every day with these awesome people. And we have our own, we have video chat rooms that we use. We go in there and we'll talk about all kinds of stuff. We've been talking about numerology and how numerology and how numbers connect all of us and everything in the universe and stuff like that. We just have very interesting conversations, and a lot of times just about regular life, and how to get through some of the trauma that we've been through, and get rid of any kind of negative baggage in our life like that. So we're working through that. So as Spirit Deer, one of our more enlightened family members, says, we are a learning center and a healing center, or a center for learning and a center for healing. And so that's kind of our mantra. Okay, so anyway, how astral projection works is basically you're going to, it's like meditation, it's like meditating, just like you would in a normal meditation, but you're going to take it a step further. You're actually going to put your body to sleep, or it's like a self-hypnosis is what you're doing, really. And you're going to be put into this state where your consciousness is going to be wide awake and your body's going to be totally asleep, because your soul or your spirit body, whatever you want to call it, the electricity that's us, that runs this body, doesn't require sleep at all. Hey, it's Princess Lala, aka Melissa Mouse. So nice to see you. We've been missing you. So yeah, I said in one of our past streams, or maybe I think I said it on Jeff's podcast too, like we're like that little thing on Iron Man. Our soul is like that disc that goes in your suit that powers our body. So that never sleeps. Doesn't require sleep at all. So when your body goes to sleep to repair and everything, we're free to move about the cabin, but we don't remember it. We're usually unconscious, and there's a way to short circuit that process that makes our consciousness go unconscious. There's a way to short circuit that so our consciousness stays awake, like I'm talking to you now, while your body sleeps. And so the way to do that is there's like 5 steps, and you have to do all 5 things at one time. And it's just kind of hard to do, but with practice, it can be done, and I proved it. Yeah, good timing. So, Princess Lala, you'll have to go back and watch the beginning and hear Ivan's story. We had our first experience in our family tonight with Astral Projection, so you're going to want to go back and listen to his story. It's really cool. And now I'm just going over, I'm doing a review of the steps to do an Astral Projection. And then we'll just have an open floor for questions about anything. But, and you can even come on the air with me too. I'm not using Zoom tonight, so you can just, I can bring you into a messenger like I did Ivan or whatever. So what you want to do, Kevin and others that haven't done this before, you want to just lay flat on your back on your bed or in a comfortable place, even in a hammock. You can do this anywhere. Eventually, you can do it standing up and awake. But then that takes a lot of practice, a long time. Then you'll be like an ascended master. If you can do that, like walking around in a transference of your soul while you're doing this life, and you can transfer outside and be doing all these other things while you're doing this life. I can't even comprehend that yet, but definitely it's possible. I can see where it's possible. Yeah, I'm glad you're here too. We've missed you. I know you've been on a mission lately, and you'll have to come on our next experiences, which maybe will be tomorrow. I might schedule our next experiences for tomorrow night, maybe. You can come on and tell us what you've been up to with the family. Not our family, but the other family. You know which one I'm talking about. So just lay on your back. You want to make sure you're in an environment where you're not going to be interrupted at all. Like, you don't want any pets jumping on you or anybody that can interrupt this process you're about to get yourself into. You just want a peace, quiet, tranquil place where nothing's going to disturb you. So if you got to go in a spare bedroom or something and close the door, then do that, because you just don't want any interruptions. So what you want to do is start with your toes and just relax all the muscles in your body. Just go up your body and just let your breath out. Just breathe normally, but breathe in new air through your nose and just let it out, and just let all your worries out. Just relax, and you can put in your earbuds and put some binaural beats. We have one that I've been listening to that's in our group. It's posted on our wall. It's a really good one. I think you'll like it. It actually makes you feel like you're in the vibrational state. But so as you're relaxing, pay close attention to your shoulders and your neck muscles. Those are takes the longest to get those limp. And just relax your whole body. Just lay there and just let everything go. Just imagine yourself sinking into the bed. And as you do this, you're going to start to feel heavier and heavier. And you can't move any muscles. You just have to lay there and just relax. Okay, once you do that, then you want love in your heart. So think, I don't even have to think about anything anymore. I have so much love in my heart from all you guys. But just think of a happy memory. Think about the happiest memory you can ever think of, or even something that's happening in your life right now that's really makes you really happy inside and joyful. And just have that, that feeling of love in your heart, because that's very important. You have to have that if you want to project. So while you're doing that, you have love in your heart, you're relaxing your body, then you want to clear your mind. Okay, this is probably one of the hardest things to do. So to clear your mind, my technique is, a common technique is to think of there's an imaginary vault off to the side of your brain, and you just transfer all your thoughts into that vault, and then close the door. So family, friends, work, bills, worries, all that stuff, you just want to take out of your head and put them in that vault and close the door. And every time something enters your mind starts to try to analyze it. Just transfer it to that vault, and just keep doing that until things aren't bouncing around anymore. Just keep transferring out, and forgetting about it. I came up with a technique that's pretty cool. I think of a giant, like a tsunami or a big wave that goes through your whole life timeline. Just all your memories that you have, and just this wave just sweeps through your mind and just takes all your thoughts and memories away and just takes it out into nothing. And then, so while you're doing that, so you're relaxing your body, loving your heart, transfer all your thoughts out of your mind, then you're going to want to say something over and over in your head. It can be a word, it could be a phrase, doesn't matter what it is. And this is why Indians or natives of whatever land, they chant, monks chant. The reason they do this is because your brain will shut down your body if it thinks you're not doing anything with your brain. It does this because it conserves energy. It wants to conserve energy if it doesn't think your brain is doing anything useful. So when you just say something over and over in your head, like counting sheep, that's why that works, because you're just doing something you're not using your brain for anything. You're just counting numbers. And that's, once your brain realizes that's what's going on in your mind, it's going to start putting all your muscles to sleep. And that's to prevent you from sleepwalking. So, and you're going to feel this. Once you keep your mind awake, you're going to feel this process happening, and it can be like a panicky feeling. Like you can feel like when it hits your chest, especially, it's going to put all these muscles to sleep, and it's going to feel like a panicky kind of feeling because you're not used to it. And it's kind of like maybe breathing in water, which we do as babies, but we forget. And so we forget how to do that eventually as we get older. But it's no different than that. It's just a different feeling that we're not used to, because when this process happens, we're usually unconscious and we don't remember it. But when you keep your mind awake, you're going to feel all this happening in the background. You just got to just ride with it. Don't move any muscles. Just know it's coming. And you're like, oh, okay, Mark said this is going to happen. Just go with the flow. Let it happen naturally. Just surrender to it. This is the key. Just surrender. That is exactly what it is, Kevin. It's the melatonin kicking in. Very good. Yep, that's exactly what it is. This is why we don't sleepwalk. Well, some people sleepwalk, so I guess they have a lack of melatonin when that happens. Yeah, Alessandra, that would suck if you had asthma. Um, yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that if you have a cold or something. You can't breathe very good because you'll definitely get panicky feeling probably. Okay, um, so once that wave comes over you, that melatonin, it's gonna feel. If you've ever had an MRI or a CAT scan with contrast, that's kind of how it feels. Um, Kind of a warm feeling. I call it the wave because it's going to feel like a wave that starts in my toes and it comes all the way up your body and just puts all your muscles to sleep. And then your body's going to feel really heavy at that point. And then the last thing you want to do is set your intention. And you really do this from the start, but your intention is very important. This is what's going to keep you awake while your body goes to sleep. And your intention is where kind of like what you want to do when you come out of your body. Like, where do I want to go? So when everybody started finding each other here in this family, I set a place for us all to meet when we come out of our body, and it's El Capitan in our Yosemite National Park here in California. So that's where we're going to meet. That's like our drop zone, I call it. So we're going to meet at our drop zone, and from there we can go anywhere else we want to after that. That's where we're trying to meet right now. Eventually, the hopes is when everybody learns how to do this and control it, we can all travel with each other in the universe like a big field trip together. You know, and I've never heard of this happening before. I've never heard of anybody doing anything like this. So it's monumental. And I'm sure it'll work. I'm sure it will. I don't see why it wouldn't. But that's what we're trying to do anyway right now. So once you set your intention, where your third eye is, have you ever heard of your third eye, Kevin? Does that ring a bell to you? Pit stop at Denny's. Oh no. Yeah, that would be interesting. I've never seen an Astral restaurant before. Never been to one. Like an Astral drive-through. Okay, so yeah, where your third eye is, as long as you know where that is, just focus on that. And like I said in my podcast with Jeff, there's like a little stream of data. I call it like a data stream. It's these little stars that come out of this little hole, I guess you could say. And to me, it's right where your third eye would be. And if you focus on that, you can actually speed this process up by doing, you have to imagine yourself doing something action-wise, like running. Just imagine yourself running towards these little dots, these streaming little dots, like running like this, or swimming, or canoeing, or whatever. As long as you're running towards these dots, then it seems to activate it faster somehow. And so once you get all these things working together, you know, relaxing your body, loving your heart, clearing your mind, saying something over and over, over and over and over and over and over. You know, you don't say it out loud. You just say it in your head. You can say basketball, 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 basketball. In your head, just keep saying it. Focus on what you want to do while you're saying that. Let the melatonin kick in. Then you're almost there. Then you're going to feel your body start to vibrate real fast. This is called the vibrational stage or state. And right when that happens, a lot of people will hear like their name being called. I hear my name being called, usually by a female, in the back of my head. It sounds like somebody's calling me, and it wants me to turn around. But you can't turn around. You can't just ignore anything that's going on. A lot of people hear a door knock, a knock on your door. Like, you'll think the police is at your front door. Like, just don't do it. Don't get up and get it. Like, just ignore all these things. These are just distractions your brain is trying to do to get you to get out of this state. Because, really, we come here to experience this reality. We don't come here necessarily to leave this reality. So I think there's certain mechanisms that are in place to stop us from doing this. And that's all this is. It's just distractions. People think there's people sitting on their chest, or there's demons behind them, or whatever. That's all a trick to get you to get scared to stop doing this. But as long as you can make it past all these little safety valves, then I usually feel this electric buzz go down my spine, and then I just pop out. And I hear all these sounds go off inside your body, and they're really loud. Everything gets magnified because when you're in this state, you can hear everything in your body, like really like hyper sensitive. Every little tiny sound inside your body is really loud, amplified. That's what's going on. And then when that happens, you're actually out. Now, when you come out, that's your first battle. You're there. You're out of your body, but now these chakras, or electromagnets, I call them, they actually keep your spirit body really attached to this body, your physical body. As long as you have electricity flowing through your body, these electromagnets are active. So to get away from those, you have to use a technique, and there's lots of them. The most common one you're going to read about online is the rope technique, where you have to picture in your mind a rope hanging from your ceiling, like in front of you, and you have to imagine your arms, or your spirit body arms. You have to imagine your arms reaching up and pulling yourself up out of your body. Okay, you can't use your muscles. You have to use your mind. Everything's done in your mind. From here on. So, and there's different techniques to practice using your mind to do things like this, like when you're in your waking state. But so, another technique I like to use more than the rope technique is the rollout technique, where you just imagine yourself rolling out of bed. Just rolling. Just imagine yourself rolling out the bed. Or you can pretend like your body's like a telephone pole and rotate it. And you'll kind of twist out of your body that way. And there's all different kind of techniques you can do. And sometimes you don't really have to use the technique. Sometimes you're going to fly out, like I did when I died. I just flew out through my head and just, But sometimes that'll happen just naturally. You don't have to use a technique. But more times than not, you're going to have to use a technique, because you're going to feel like you're stuck in molasses, because it's such a really strong connection. So you have to... Hey, Atlantis Creed. How's it going? I don't think I've ever seen you. Are you new here? That's awesome. Where are you from? We're just talking a little astral projection here. But I love your name, though. That's really cool. And so, anyway, once you use one of these techniques to to get away from your body, then all you have to do is use your mind to think about where you want to go. And that kind of starts with your intention. And then if you want to go to the moon or you want to go to another planet or a galaxy, all you have to do is think about it. That's it. You don't have to get in a spaceship and go somewhere. You can just think about it. Wherever you think about it, that's where you're going to be. And you just be there. If you want to go to a friend's house in this dimension or this location, then you just think about your friend. You're from Atlantia, but I live in the States. That's awesome. Oh, Albania. You're from Albania. I thought it said Atlantia. Albania. Wow. Well, what state do you live in? I used to work with a few programmers from Albania back in the day before I retired. You guys are awesome people. So yeah, that's Kevin. That's all there is to it. That's how to get out of your body in a nutshell. But of course, go back and watch the other streams we've had. It'll go more into detail about how to do those things, but that's really in a nutshell how to do it. Massachusetts, all right. I used to go to school back in the day. When I joined the Air Force and I graduated basic training, they sent me up to Fort Devens. Fort Devens, I think it's still there maybe. It's in Ayr and Shirley. Do you know where that is? Near Leominster. Yeah, Kevin, you're in for a treat. It's so fun. So Ivan is the first one to do this out of the novice group, out of the ones who have never done it before, and I'm really happy for him. But we're still going to be in a competition to see who does what first. So it's pretty cool. So I'm excited to see how you progress as you go, and don't get too frustrated, because you're gonna keep falling asleep a lot, and you're gonna be frustrated. And don't get too bent out of shape, because that's just par for the course. Took me 56 nights straight. I did it every single night for 56 nights, so like a month and a half. I finally did it, and it paid off. Like, whew. Definitely paid off. It just blew my mind what happened after that. And I'm still thinking about what happened 10 years ago, about my very first experience. Still processing that. Even more so than my near-death experience. All right. So now that we've gone over the review of how to astral project, what questions do you guys have for me? And Ivan, come back on and say hi to everybody.
Yeah, I'm still here with you.
All right.
Hello. Yeah. My favorite topic.
Leominster, yeah. We used to on the weekends we used to party at the Leominster Super 8 Motel. We used to fill the bathtub up with ice and throw all the beer in there. Good times. That was in 1988. You kind of projected, Alessandra. I ended up in my body, though. Oh, thanks, Atlantis. Yeah, you should have been me. Oh, lung disease? Oh my God. Oh, do you have anything, Kevin, like a nebulizer that you use that makes you breathe better or anything? Like, I have a CPAP I use for sleep apnea that really helps when I'm trying this. Yeah, things with your lungs that go wrong are no fun, man. I've been there, done that. Nebulizer BiPAP. Ah, I've never heard of a BiPAP. What's the difference between a BiPAP and a CPAP, I wonder? Yeah, nebulizers can be really cool. You can put all kinds of stuff in there, like different kind of herbs that will, different herbs that you want to get inside your bloodstream really fast. Kind of like a JFro has this thing called a volcano, which you can actually vaporize herbs like cannabis and other things. Nobody has any questions. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I know somebody has to have a question. Who else has been getting close out there to projecting? Tell me. You can come on here. Just tell me and I'll bring you in through a messenger or whatever. Ah. Oh, you came to the right place, Atlantis. Came to the right place. We are a grand central station of astral projection now. Oh, so Atlantis, I have a series I started a couple weeks ago called Experiences because, like you just said, so many of you have told me some of your experiences, and I started a series where you can come on like a Zoom session with me, and you can tell everybody on YouTube about your experiences, and I would love for you to come on and talk about your experiences sometime. I may have a stream tomorrow night, and I might do it during the daytime tomorrow here. I'm on the West Coast in California, so if I do it like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something, then that'll be like 5 or 6 in the evening your time. I would love for you to come on and tell us some of these strange stories. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, most stuff right now, Atlantis, is in the live section. But I did put one video out in the video section under the fast lane today. So you're going to start to see more videos show up there. And then I'm going to be starting the language very soon. I know I keep saying that, but I'm almost there where I'm going to be. And those are going to be daily. That content's going to be daily. Someone lucid dreams. It's easier to astral project. Yeah, so Ivan was just saying that before you came online, Kevin, I think. Ivan actually projected from a lucid dream just by falling backwards. So you can rewind this video to the beginning and listen to his story, and you can hear how he did it.
Yep, it was cool.
Yeah, that's actually so all the steps I told you had to do to keep love in your heart and all that, you can actually skip all that. Like, you can skip, go, collect $200, all that. You can go right to the finish line in a lucid dream, because all you have to do is jump off a tall building or a cliff or fall backwards, and you'll come right out of your body instantly.
Yeah, it certainly was an easy way to do it if you lucid dream.
Yeah, but you have to recognize you're in a lucid dream. You have to actually know you're in a dream to do that.
Right.
Exactly. And the way you, what was that? Was that you? Was that your dog?
That's my dog whining for something.
Oh, I was like, what is that sound? That was cool. I was like, we have company here, and it's not you or me. It's not Jfro.
She knows that I'm a sucker when she does that. She's gonna get something.
Yes, welcome home. Atlantis, do you know how to get to our Facebook group? You and Kevin are definitely going to want to do that. Jfro, maybe you can copy our link to our Facebook group in the chat so people that haven't joined us yet can join. Because people may be watching this a couple years from now, and so it would be nice to have a little footprint in the chat about it. Linda. I like your little puppy emoji. Cool. Awesome. Welcome, man. Welcome home. Yeah, Jfro just posted it. Just scroll back in the chat, I guess. Or just go to Game of Scrolls. You can go to Facebook/group/Game of Scrolls, all one word. And then you'll find your new soul tribe. Okay, who else has questions? Any questions? For Ivan or me? Or how is your astral projecting going? What are your problems you've been experiencing? Yeah, Kevin, there's some other things I didn't mention, like fear. You have to get rid of fear. Fear is your number one enemy in all this. And that's a big one. Awesome.
I can certainly say there's no reason to be afraid whatsoever.
Right.
You know, like it's
okay.
Kind of, you know, what's going to happen. But once you're there, you don't even think about any of that.
Exactly. Plus, you know, from my experience and all these other people that come on Jeff Mara all the time, we don't die. We just don't die. Our souls are immortal. And once even if you haven't had one of these experiences, you're going to learn it when you project for sure. But like Ivan was saying, when you come out of your body, there is no fear. So, and you realize that once you realize we don't die, then that's most of your fear right there when you think about it. Like, that's what most people are so afraid of. They're so, you have people that are afraid to get in an elevator or afraid to get in a car. There's people that have phobias about everything. Clowns, balloons. I worked with a girl who had a mother who was afraid of balloons. She had this phobia of balloons. Like, every time she saw a balloon, she started crying. Like, I never understood this, but we all have these phobias about, maybe it stems from past lives or something that happened traumatically to us in another lifetime or whatever. We've all got this trauma inside of us somehow, and we have to get rid of it. And once you get rid of that and forgive everything in your heart, then you're free. And then that plus knowing that we don't die, you shouldn't have any fears about anything. And once you don't have any fear, you're free, totally free. Like, it's an amazing feeling. And I have it. I have this feeling every day. And then you all your love on top of it's like the cherry on top. You know, like, I have so much love. I'm getting ready to explode here. And that's what you want when you project. You want to be free. You don't want any of this baggage. Kevin asked how long you were in the experience your first time. I think you touched on this a little bit earlier.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Kevin wants to know.
It felt like maybe 5 minutes, the whole thing in total.
Hmm.
You know, from the time, from the time it started till I was back in my body would be, I'm guessing 5 minutes. It's hard to know time when that's happening. You know, it's a guess. That's what it feels like, though. That's what it felt like.
Hey, Elizam 88 Phelps. Welcome to the party. Welcome. And Daniela, is that your name, Elizam? Or how do you say that? Elizam or Elizam? Where are you two from? 88 Phelps and Elizam or Daniela? And are you guys? Have you joined our Facebook group yet? If not, you're going to want to do that because that's where we talk about all this all day and all night long, all around the world. We talk about this, not just here on YouTube, but we talk about it in our family. We have lots of cool discussions all the time. We have rooms where we go in and we talk about so many things, not just astral projection. We talk about anything relating to all this stuff. Yeah. Ivan, is your wife, is she sleeping now or is she still awake?
Yeah, she just went to bed.
Oh, did she?
Came back.
So she has to work tomorrow?
No, she doesn't have to work tomorrow.
Oh, she's off.
But,
oh, cool. Seattle. Oh,
yeah.
You're in the group. Cool.
But yeah, she's just tired because she gets up at like 4:30 a.m. So
yeah,
she said she was watching. She was watching the show and said, "Oh, I can't stay awake any longer. I gotta go to bed. I'll see the rest tomorrow." I said, "Yeah, well, you can see it anytime you want. It'll be there."
Awesome. So Alessandra says, my phobia was of death itself until I had my NDE now. No fear. Yeah, exactly. It's funny how that works, huh? Sandra Poo. All right, what other questions do you have? I know you guys have got to have more questions. I know when I started learning about astral projection, I had a million questions. Oh, has anybody tried the quarters on your eyes yet? Or put a crystal here on your forehead? Indeedy. Oh, this must be an Aussie talking to me. No,
I seem to put my left forearm over my eyes. Like I don't need. Like, do you do it just for?
I do it so I can see my data stream.
Right. I find that I get a little more if I have like some pressure on my eyes. So I seem to get better experiences by putting my left forearm over my eyes. And, I don't know. It seems like that little bit of pressure on my eyes seems to open things up better.
Yeah, but aren't you moving a muscle by doing that? You're actually flexing your muscles by doing that. So how?
I just kind of flop my arm over top, so my elbows stick in the air.
You're the first person I've ever heard doing that. That's clever.
Yeah, I find when I do that, I get a lot more.
So then you just let it go limp after that.
Yeah, you just lay your forearm over your eyes. And just
You're awesome,
your arm,
man.
Like, let it just lay on your face, like on your head.
You're the first person in
like
all
on your
this world
and over your eyes.
Like, I know thousands of people that do this, and you're the only one out of all those thousands that have ever said that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
So
and I get lots of experiences that way. Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of a cool thing. Maybe we should use, like, you know how you have those goggles when like if you're like an Olympic swimmer, you have those real like little goggles you wear in the water, you know.
Right.
Maybe something like that'll put enough pressure like your arm puts on your eyelids.
Well, I do it with my left arm, so the bend in my arm would kind of be like over my left eye. So it's almost like the bend is almost over the arch of your nose. You know what I mean? Like it's just resting there.
Ah,
You know what I mean? Like it's just
yeah.
you just let the weight go. Like your arm is just laying across like, your eyes.
Ah,
So like I'm just doing it here now to see. Yeah, so I kind of put the bend in my arm in the bridge of my nose
ah.
when you're laying down flat on your back, right?
Yeah, right. Well, also, Kevin, I should have told you when I'm laying on my back, I like to tilt my head up a bit, like from my shoulders up to my head. I like to have that propped up just a little bit, like
Yeah, me too.
because it makes you feel like you're more in control that way instead of laying all the way flat. Like, it's kind of like you're in like a. I kind of feel like I'm like in a pilot of a space shuttle or something. You know. Actually, if you had one of
Yeah.
those things, you know, you put in your bed where you can sit up in bed, those little things with arms, you know, one of those would be actually
Yeah,
perfect.
that would work. Yeah, that would be cool.
That
Never
would be
thought of that.
perfect to project
Yeah.
with. Yeah, I'll have to try that sometime, too. Yeah, you
Yeah,
could
so it's
act.
kind of like a lazy boy feeling, but you're in bed,
Yeah, and
like you're
Ro-
back on a lazy.
yeah, I remember Robert Monroe's first book. It's called Venture or Journey Out of the Body. I think is his first book, and he talks about he used to, while his family went to church one Sunday, he just stayed home, and he just took a nap in this recliner, this like a lazy boy recliner, and he had a lot of experiences in that recliner. So, um, I imagine that's just like that thing on your bed, you know, where you're kind of leaning back a little bit, but you're kind of sitting up too.
Yeah, I'm kind of more have just my head propped forward with a. It's like one of those pillows that are kind of shaped to fit your neck, so it like props your neck up. You ever seen one of those pillows that's kind of it's got like a big bump on the bottom that where it like kind of fits your neck and props your neck up, so you're kind of your neck stays in line with your spine, kind of thing.
uh,
You know what I mean? Like it's a real firm, like a memory foam kind of
oh,
pillow.
I used to have
It
the
has like a
best.
lump in it.
Oh, I love. Yeah, I love. I miss my memory foam. I paid $150 for this memory foam. This memory foam pillow once, and
Yeah,
it
they're
was
not
my.
cheap.
But it's my favorite one I've ever had. I mean, it wasn't too firm and wasn't too loose. It was just right, like about a 7. You know how they have different numbers for the memory foam. It was like a 7, just like my bed was.
Right.
And
Right.
seven is my perfect number for a bed, like the firmness or whatever. Because I don't like it too firm and I don't like it too squishy,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
It's
Goldilocks.
too soft. I can't. My head goes back, and then you know,
Yeah,
it's
Kevin.
uncomfortable, or I wake up with a sore neck.
So Kevin says he rests in a zero gravity position. I have a puffy adjustable bed. Otherwise, I can't sleep in bed because of nerve back pain. Oh man, we need to
Know all
heal.
about it.
We need to heal you, Kevin, somehow. Oh, stress. Yeah, don't be stressed. Stress will kill you. Take it from me. Stress will make your immune system go down, and then everything takes over after that. Everything bad takes over your body. Yeah, and a memory foam neck pillow, like travel pillow, that would be perfect too. Yeah. Yeah, I can't lay flat either, Kevin. I'm totally with you there, brother. I'm like you, but I'm a side sleeper, really. I only lay on my back when I'm trying to project because that way every muscle can be relaxed that way. You're not really impinging any muscles or veins or anything. You're just totally, laid out. Whereas if you sleep on your side, your arm might fall asleep or something, and that can mess you up too. Yeah, I agree, Kirsty. Find me a good pillow. I can't find one like I used to have. I don't know why they don't make them like that. And the ones you buy in the cheaper, lower end stores like Walmart and stuff, they're just not good. Like, they have that little contour in it, which I don't like. I just like a plain pillow that's memory foam. Like, none of this artsy fartsy stuff. All these contours and all this stuff. It's like got some cats talking to each other up back there. All right. Okay, do we have any more questions for the peanut gallery? Before we end for the night. Did everybody enjoy tonight's stream?
Always enjoy the streams.
Yeah.
So, always look forward to.
Artsy fartsy, exactly. Yeah, like in those. I'm telling you, the more expensive you get, the more artsy fartsy it is. Like, I was just talking about this the other day. Like, you go to the fancier restaurant you go to, the worse it is. Like, the less food you get, and I mean, if you're hungry, do not go to an expensive restaurant. Because you'll be paying like $1 million just to get a regular steak. Oh, thank you, Kirsty. You're awesome. Yeah, congratulations, Ivan. I wish I could give you something for that, but we'll have to come up with a plan for that. Maybe we'll have like some kind of fund. Everybody puts in a little bit of money, and we can get something special for people when they do this for the first time. Okay. No ridges. Yeah, no ridges. No contours, no ridges. Just fluffiness. Yeah, Ivan, I'm so proud of you, man, and I can't wait till we hear the next story from you, because you're just getting started, man. Just wait.
Oh yeah.
When you have your first major experience, you're just gonna be like, you're just gonna want to tell the whole world. You're gonna want to run down the street and wake everybody up and tell them like.
Yeah,
I tried to, and then
just in an unknown basement or an unknown house or cottage. Yes, for sure. I'm just so happy it happened right now. Like I say, it's kind of opened the door. So
yeah,
nothing's stopping me now.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Stay tuned for, I think, tomorrow or the next day, one of the two, I'm going to have another experiences. So those of you who would like to share some of your experiences with us, with the family, come on down once I announce it, okay? And let me know ahead of time if you want to do it. That way I can kind of count on that or expect that. I can change the format around to match that. Because just like in Australia, in Outback Steakhouse, there's, there's no rules, just right. There's no rules here. We can do what we want. All right, guys. Love you all. And I'll see you, Kevin, and Alanis. We'll see you in the group. And it'll be nice to get to know you. And you'll see that most people, when they come on nowadays, they usually post a picture of themselves and tell a little bit about themselves. So it'll be nice to hear your stories too. Although we kind of know a little bit about your stories, but Atlantis, I'd be interested to know how you came here from Albania and what you think of America, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Kirsty with a K, don't think I didn't read what you wrote. I saw you're going to have a barbecue. And I wish I could come for it. But one day I will be there for your barbecue. Trust me. And we're gonna make rounds to all you guys. We're gonna come visit you wherever you are in the world. That's my hope. Love you guys. You have a great night. Ivan, thanks again for coming on, and tell Tizzy thanks for letting you stay awake for this.
Yeah.
And tell her I want to hear her first experience too. Is she excited about it?
Yeah. Yeah, she
has she warmed up to the idea yet?
She had a experience too, right? She was like yourself in a coma and had an experience.
Really?
Oh yes. Didn't know about that. She explained it on video chat.
You created a monster.
With Jan and she did explain the story once, but there was only a few of us there. But yeah, we'll have to get her to come on and share her story. It's quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Love you all. Love you, Linda. Love you. Oh, big hug.
Love you guys. Thank you for all the great comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you all later. Love you.
Have a good night. Yeah. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Good night.
It's good. Now we gotta officially end this. There we go. In stream. There we go.